I made a tier list of all the most popular interior trends of 2026 so far, and I'm deciding which trends you should use and which ones are going straight to the trash. Here I have a big list of the newest and most popular trends so far. Here are the tiers and what they stand for. S tier, I love this, would use it in the future. A tier, I like it, happy to see it. B tier, it's fine, neutral feelings. C tier, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't use it. D tier, I don't like it, I would avoid it. F tier, I hate it, would never use it. So, let's start with the styles and overall approaches. Eclectic. This style is a very interesting one. A lot of interiors have high price points, but eclecticism is different, because it can be a style for broke students and it can also be a style for millionaires. It's a style to gather memories and express your life and yourself. So I'll give it a B tier because of its flexibility, but it has to be done well to actually look good. Warm Modernism. For this one, I have a little bias because I really like this style. A lot of people say modern styles are soulless, and I know what they mean. It's like some logos that simplify too much. But when done right, you get a logo like Apple. Pure perfection. And it's the same with modernism. When done right, it's one of the most calm and peaceful styles there is. S tier. You know what's also S tier? That beautiful subscribe button down below. Modern heritage. If someone has a heritage apartment, I would probably transform it into a modern heritage style. It's like resto mod cars. If you don't know what resto mod is, it's when they take an old car, like a Mercedes, and making it modern and changing the engine and interior. It's like the coolest thing ever. I'm not the biggest fan of pure heritage style, but the modern version is better. So, C tier. Neo Deco. It's a very specific look that, from what I know, the Americans adopted in the 1920s. It was very popular back then, and it's making a comeback this year. I enjoyed this style, it has character and some history. A tier. Moving on to the next category, color palettes. First off, we have chocolate brown and deep browns. I think brown is a really neutral color when it comes to interiors. Wood is mostly brown, and we use it everywhere already. I think that some interiors can look nice in that color, but it's a tricky color, especially when you have wooden floor. I'll give it a B for brown. Restorative/deep greens. I like the green trend. It fits nicely with a lot of other colors. Plants are green and they get used all the time in interiors. So, thumbs up for the green color. A tier. Warm earthy neutrals. I really like the natural feeling of this one. You can't go wrong with these colors. I think it's such a natural color palette that it can feel a little boring, but I still think it's really good. So, I'm giving it an A tier. Next one is burgundy. Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Burgundy. Burgundy and moody reds. Now this one. These colors have recently been a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm obsessed with burgundy. Just look at the cars in this color. Or clothes. I love it. Straight to S tier. Color drenching. I've never been in a room before where everything is the same color, but I feel like I would get tired of it, like I'm in a Wes Anderson movie. It looks really cool, and most of the time when I see it on Pinterest, it catches my eye. I'm going to put it in a safe B tier. Soft cloudy whites and warm off-whites. Here, it's similar to the brown one. White is already one of the primary colors for interior design, so I feel like it's already being used. But it looks good. B tier. Butter yellow, pistachio and soft pastels as accent. This one is quirky. I can understand why someone would like an interior in these colors, but I'm definitely not the target audience. It's a very specific look that I would probably pick as one of the last color palettes. So D tier. Coral and warm pinkish oranges. Similar to the butter yellow. It's fun, but it's weird. Someone talented can definitely make a great design with this palette, but it's really bold. Because this is my list, I'm probably not going to use it personally, so sadly, it also lands in D tier. This next category is the last one, but it's a mix of different things, because they didn't have enough individual trends to have their own category. We have materials, textures, details, elements, and some furniture. Let's start with the first one, fluted and reeded surfaces. This is a way to add texture and detail to walls, furniture, and glass. I think this is a cool trend that even I used in some projects. I even saw it in a building that my friend lives in, and it looked nice. A tier. Natural and tactile materials. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but natural materials, stone, wood, cotton, and any other material you can find in nature are a no-brainer for me. They make interiors feel alive in a good way. You have more of a connection to them. S tier. Mixed wood tones. This one is complicated because it really depends on how you do it. If you mix wood tones, like having a light floor and some furniture in different tones, it can look good. But it's like mixing colors. Some combinations just don't work. So this trend is odd because could you really call mixing color combinations a trend? I'm going to put it in a B tier. Sumptuous textiles. This is pretty self-explanatory. Making fabrics more interesting. Why not? B tier. Vintage and antiques. Pre-1920s pieces. If you have a spare place on a shelf or space for a vintage piece of furniture, sure, why not? If you like how they look, go for it. But I'm not the biggest fan, so C tier. Wallpaper. I always seem to forget about them. When I do projects, they just don't come to my mind as an option. But recently, something changed. They're now putting them on the ceiling, and I kind of like it. It's fresh, I don't see it that often, and it's pretty cheap to do. A tier. Terracotta tiles and earthy flooring. These remind me of that Mediterranean feeling. If you asked me where I would want to live besides Poland, it would probably be in Italy or Greece. And these terracotta and earthy elements remind me exactly of that. S tier. Curved/soft geometry furniture. If you have an apartment that has a perfect spot for a bold piece like this, I think you should do it, because it could make the whole room stand out. A curved sofa or another curved piece of furniture, or even a curved wall, I know it's not a piece of furniture, but it's the same idea, it makes the room much more interesting. S tier. Now, I saved the worst for last. The first one is skirted seating. I don't know if it's an American thing or something, but I didn't grow up around them at all. There is this sofa in IKEA that has this, and I really don't like it. It looks like it belongs in the back rooms. The only one I found that looked fine was AI generated. So sadly, I have to put it as the first F tier on this list. I get why people might like these, but you wouldn't find one of these in my design. The last item on this list is farmhouse/barn doors. These are so impractical. It's basically a curtain, but worse. It's heavier, more expensive, and more complicated. It doesn't block sound, it doesn't block smell, and you don't feel any privacy with these. It has truly earned the F tier. If I have to say something positive about them, is that they don't look that bad. But I would rather have no door than these. Here we have the full list, and I'm pretty happy with it. If you have something else that you guys want me to make a tier list of, type it in the comments and maybe I'll make it in the future. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to see any of my videos where I use these styles, check out my other videos and make sure to subscribe.